Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That's a Shoot. Like I've been doing the last couple of weeks, I believe, since everything has gone down, I have not felt right doing a normal That's a Shoot where I would put over things and I would bury things. 'Cause I think it doesn't feel right to critique um, both WWE and AEW with the things that they are doing, because the things they are doing are just you couldn't imagine. You could not imagine that they would have to be taped. That they would tape WrestleMania. The WWE would. They would have to tape WrestleMania. You didn't think that AEW would have to do shows in front of no, or WWE have to do shows in front of no live audience. You just never would have thought that. So I'm getting. So even though there are things that I do not like, and there are things that I truly love, I've just decided not to do a put over and bury for the time being. Just because I think we're just living in a weird situation right now. Um, so I've decided not to do that. Um, so basically, on these That's and Shoots, I will be doing just main topics. Right after this one, I will be doing my own pre-recording, as I will be pre-recording the predictions video. That will drop next Friday, actually, not next Saturday, because we got the WrestleMania on the 2 days. So um, so I will be dropping that video next Friday, actually, for That's a Shoot. And that'll be my predictions video. There are some things that are in flux right now. Um, Things like the SmackDown tag match. That was made last night. The triple threat ladder match between The Miz and Morrison, the Usos, and the New Day. The Miz has been sick, apparently, so um, who knows if that was even done. Um, uh, they had not announced the women's tag match between Bliss and Cross versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. They have not done that. And where has Kairi Sane been the last couple of weeks? Who knows of that? And then, of course, the big news that happened just came out this week that Roman Reigns decided to not participate in any of the Performance Center tapings because of his uh, um, autoimmune system that can be compromised. That is compromised from his 2 bouts with leukemia, so he is more susceptible to catching the coronavirus. So he decided not to be out. There is rumors that um, there are rumors that Brock Lesnar, no, not Brock Lesnar, but Goldberg would take on Braun Strowman for the Universal title match. Um, so all of those things have just put up everything in craziness with WrestleMania. So, like I said, once I get through filming this, I'm also going to film um, the predictions video, and that's going to come out next Friday. And I'll explain more about things that I'm going to do with the predictions video in that video. So make sure you are here for next Friday to take that along. But for this video, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to do some fantasy booking, like all wrestling fans love to do. We're gonna do a little fantasy booking. And what I was going to do, I was going to fantasy book 3 things. I was going to fantasy book the Brock Lesnar face turn, the Sasha Banks versus Bayley conflict that a lot of us wanted to see, and the and the Roman Reigns title run. Now, because of what happened with Roman Reigns and everything is going down, I'm not going to fantasy book that. I'm just going to do the Brock Lesnar face turn and Sasha Banks versus Bayley. So right now, let's just go ahead and we'll jump right into the Brock Lesnar face turn. How about that? Now, how do you book a Brock Lesnar face turn? Well, let me first say this. I'm not saying that Brock Lesnar should turn face. Actually, I don't. When you think about it, I think he is one of the better heels in the business right now. He can draw heat. Fans are, they do, they are upset. Now, part of that is because he is a part-time champion, and that's one of the reasons why the fans are not liking him. However, I think I do think that if you wanted to, you could turn Brock Lesnar face, and I think the person that you do it against is King Corbin. I think that because he's the person that the fans would dislike less than Brock Lesnar. So what does this mean? Well, I think what this would mean is that at some point King Corbin, however you want to do it, whether he comes to Raw or Brock Lesnar goes to SmackDown, however you want it to happen, you would have to have King Corbin just go on a rampage and just have him, you know, take down all of the biggest, baby faces in the on the show, whatever show he's on. So if he's on Raw, he's taking out Ricochet, he's taking out Kevin Owens, he's taking out Samoa Joe. He's just on a rampage. Maybe he even takes out Drew McIntyre. He does all of this stuff. I don't think he needs to hold the championship. I don't think that needs to happen. Although it wouldn't hurt if he was one of the champions, the Universal or WWE champion. That will not hurt. you know. So I think you give Big King Corbin this big push. You keep him on a roll. He's just decimating everybody in his path, and Brock Lesnar has lost the WWE Championship to Drew McIntyre. He is off television for, let's say, just for a little while, right? Let's just say for a little while. Let's just say he's off until SummerSlam, which, by the way, they all could be off until SummerSlam with what's going on right now. But so he's not on television until SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, let's say he gets a rematch with Drew McIntyre, and and he loses the rematch, right? So Brock Lesnar, he's backstage. He's thinking about, maybe it's his time, and maybe King Corbin decides to saddle up to him and say, you know what, it is time for you to go. It is time for you to go because there's another king around here, a bigger and better. There's another beast, and the beast is King Corbin. And then now it gets on this, it angers him. It angers him that King Corbin would have the nerve and the balls to step up to Brock Lesnar. And then maybe what happens and I'm keeping the roster the way they are. So maybe on SmackDown, King Corbin is out there and he's got Daniel Bryan, right? And he's got Daniel Bryan tied up. He's got him handcuffed to the ropes or something like that, and he's just putting the boots to him, and he's getting ready to just mollywop him. And all of a sudden, you hear that, dum, 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 and here comes Lesnar running down the ring to save Daniel Bryan, and King Corbin makes his escape, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's your face turn. You get Brock Lesnar versus King Corbin, and they go through the months, and that leads up to a conflict at Survivor Series, or maybe even at that time, you put the Universal title on King Corbin. He's the Universal Champion, and now his first person to defend against is Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, and Brock Lesnar is now the babyface, and there you go. And then you could have him and Corbin, fight, and King Corbin does everything. He does all the things he can to, he gets it disqualified. He gets a count out in the next match, and then finally to blow the whole feud off at the Royal Rumble, they decided to lock him inside Hell in a Cell, and oh man, or a steel cage or something like that, and there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and King Corbin finally gets what's coming to him. He gets Suplex City. That's the same way John Cena got it at SummerSlam several years ago, 2004, I believe, or 2014, excuse me. And there you have it. Brock Lesnar, Universal Championship, and a babyface. Now, that's automatically going to continue to turn him heel because once again, he's a part-time champion. But I'm not saying that you just that you booking an entire face run. I'm just booking a face turn. Yeah. So I think that's a perfect way to do it for Brock Lesnar. Have him take on King Corbin, and I think you get Brock Lesnar cheered. So now let's book the Sasha Banks versus Bayley match, and so I think a lot of us wanted to a lot of us want this storyline because of what happened in NXT and the storyline they had, including the two great matches, that incredible match at NXT Takeover Brooklyn. I think the first one where Bayley finally overcame Sasha Banks and won the title from her, and then they had a match, another Takeover where it was an Iron Woman match. Um, So a lot of us wanted to have that feud happen on the main roster. Um, Now here's the thing. Um, there have been some rumors where Sasha and Bayley, they want to do it, but they want to do it the right way. They don't want to do it to where, because they feel that if they tried to sneak it in right now or afterwards, they wouldn't have the time. There was some rumors that were floating around that. And I can understand that, especially now in WrestleMania where anything like that. And also, I also think that when you're talking about the Sasha Banks versus Bayley feud, this needs to be this needs to be redone and kind of you know it can't just be this quick thing left and right. It needs to be laid out over time. And I did a video earlier where I talking about I wanted a year long story to book from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. And actually, I think this is the perfect way to do it right here. The Sasha Banks versus Bayley. So let's get started. They have this uh, now fatal five-way at WrestleMania. Dana Brooke is out because she wasn't feeling well, so she's been in quarantine. So now we have a fatal five-way where it's Tamina, Naomi, Lacey Evans, Sasha, and Bayley, the champion, SmackDown Women's Champion. So, um, and they've already sown some seeds there where Sasha Banks just keeps looking at the Women's Championship. She just keeps looking at it, right? So, that's what some people were saying, that she was totally looking at it, and then she had that look on her face after Bayley after Bayley found out that she was gonna have to face six women in a match. So um, they started right now. So here's what I would do, and again, this is why it's called fantasy booking. So we do the Fatal Five Way at WrestleMania, and we actually have Bayley win. I think we have Bayley win. So here's how, and then here's how we do it, right? So I think also what we do have now is we also have Asuka and Kairi Sane wrestle um, um, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Alexa and Nikki, they win. Bayley retains her championship. That's what Bayley retains her championship. So now Bayley's done everything right. She's beat everyone on SmackDown. So now it's time. It's time for her to move on with her good friend and take on the women's tag title. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to back that up because that actually probably shouldn't be what happened. What should actually happen is that she should actually lose the women's title. She should lose the SmackDown Women's title to to uh let's just say Lacey Evans, right? She loses the title to Lacey Evans. So then she gets her rematch, right? She gets a rematch with Lacey Evans, she loses. Now it's Sasha's turn. Sasha's looking to get the title, and Sasha has a match, has a match with Lacey Evans, and then she loses. So now they both lost to Lacey Evans. And now what's next? They want gold. They need gold. They want the money that comes with being a champion. So at SummerSlam, what happens? It's now the women's is now the women's tag titles they go after. And Alexa Bliss and Nikki are the champions to the champions. So at SummerSlam, it's Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus um, Sasha Banks and Bayley. And they go ahead and they go after it, and guess what? Sasha and Bayley, they win. They win the tag team championship. Two-time, women's tag team champions. So they become the women's tag team champions, and then what they do is they go through and they take on all challengers. They take on all challengers. They take on anybody and everybody. Maybe anybody on Raw, anybody on SmackDown, maybe even anybody in NXT, whoever, whenever, right? It all happens. But things start to unravel at Survivor Series. Let's say that they do the whole 5-on-5 thing again. They're doing Raw versus SmackDown. So it's the women's match. They are a part of, since they are both on SmackDown, even though they're the women's champions and they can travel, they are on the SmackDown side. So let's say there is some dissension, and let's just say Sasha Banks causes Bayley to lose in the match, and there's some sort of seeds of dissension there in some form or fashion, right? So then let's go with that. And let's say they beat. Well, I'm just gonna throw in there Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss again. So let's say she gets pinned by Nikki Cross. So these are no, actually, you know what? They get pinned by Peyton Royce. They'll just put the Iconics back in there, right? So she gets pinned by Peyton Royce. So that causes some conflict, right? So now the Iconic, because Peyton Royce pinned Bayley, the tag team champions, they now think that they have the opportunity to have a women's title match, right? So that's what happened. So at TLC, there is a women's tag team title match tables. It's a table match, elimination. Both players, both partners have to go through a table for the other team to win. So let's just say that Bayley goes through a table, and let's say Billie Kay goes through a table, and here we are. We've got Peyton Royce and Sasha Banks, and they are fighting. Now the other two can still be a part of the match. So and they can but right now it's just about trying to get the other one through a table. So Sasha Banks is setting up Peyton Royce, to get the table, and Bayley somehow gets in the way, and that causes Peyton Royce to put Sasha Banks through the table, and now the Iconics are the women's tag team champions. And they can't believe it. They do the happy, joy, everything like that. And we see more dissension, more dissension. Maybe we even see Sasha Banks walk away from Bayley, after the match when she tried to help her up through the carnage, and she just doesn't want her help. So then what we see is come the Royal Rumble. We have the rematch. Sasha Banks and Bayley, they get a rematch. They earn their rematch. No more automatic rematch. They earned their rematch um for the women's title, right? For the women's tag team titles. And at that point in the match, we can I say we go back and we do the whole Brett and Orange storyline in a little bit, just in a different way. So Sasha Banks hurts her knee, and the Iconics are just working over that leg, and she just can't, she can't do anything, and she's trying, they're giving her what's working over that knee. And Bayley she is begging Sasha to come get me. Please, Sasha, tag me, right? And Sasha finally, with one big that gets to his big move, broke down. Here she is, and the crowd is now starting to get behind Sasha, and they're even chanting Sasha, Sasha, and she's crawling over to Bayley, and she's crawling over, and she gets to Bayley, she reaches the tag, and Bayley drops down. Bayley drops down and walks away from Sasha Banks. and Sasha can't believe it. Tears are coming down her face. Tears are coming down her face, and Bayley just walks away, leaving her defenseless. And the Iconics take advantage of her. They lock her. They lock in some type of leg lock or something. Maybe even like an STF or something like that. Maybe. And Sasha has nothing else to do but to tap out. She can't take the pain. Tap out. The Iconics win, but the bigger story here is Bayley has walked out on her best friend, Sasha Banks, and the next Friday night on SmackDown, she comes, Bayley comes out and says, why did she, why did she walk out on Sasha? Because Sasha Banks ain't the boss anymore. It's not that Sasha Banks thought she calls herself the boss, which means that she thought she was the boss of me, but she's not. Bayley is her own person. No one's gonna boss me around no more. Not you fans, especially not Sasha Banks. Bayley's her own person now. And Bayley gets a shot at whoever's the women championship match at Elimination Chamber, right? She gets a shot at whoever's the champion at Elimination Chamber. And Bayley's, there's a great back and forth match. Bayley goes to the top looking for the elbow drop to finish off her opponent. And here comes Sasha Banks running down to the ring. Bayley cannot believe it. She gets in the ring and starts hammering on Bayley. They has fight, as Brian Zane likes to say. They get down and dirty with it. They're just throwing it everywhere. She throws Bayley into things and into tables and everything like that. She takes off the table, sets her up, and hits Bayley the belly onto the table, leaving Bayley out cold. Showing her who the boss is. And now, here we are. We've got the WrestleMania match. We've got the feud that we wanted. We've got Sasha Banks versus Bayley, WrestleMania 37. Great backstory, great feud, two phenomenal wrestlers, and let's give them the time that they need. Let's give them 25 minutes in that match. And let's see them tell that story. Tell that story. We can even go back to Sasha Banks' knee. Go ahead like that. We can go so far. Maybe we can do some great character work where even there are things where like Bayley wants to hit Sasha Banks' knee with a chair, but she just can't. Because she cares about her too much. But she just can't. So she throws away the chair and just works on the knee. Now, for me, it does not matter who wins. Sasha Banks doesn't have to win. I think a babyface can get her. She can get her heat back without winning. That's one thing that I think that sometimes I think is overdone. Where I think fans think that the babyface should just automatically, when you have a feud like this, the babyface should just automatically get their they should get what's coming to them. But that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes the best stories are when the villain wins. Just look at Avengers Infinity War. That's the greatest movie ever made because of the story, because of everything that it was all the story of the past and everything that went down, in that movie, how he got those 6 Infinity Stones, and then what happened at the end. You should have gone for the head, and that could happen then. It could happen, and maybe that's actually vice versa. Maybe it's Sasha Banks with the chair, and she's getting ready to well on Bayley, but she can't do it because she loves Bayley too much, and then Bayley can get back and then she can go up the knee, and then she can say, "You should have hit me with the chair when you had the chance." And then she locks in a leg lock, and Sasha Banks, and you don't make her tap this time. You do those things where she's going for the ropes, and then Bayley pulls her back, and she passes out. She passes out. She's not gonna give. She's not gonna give Bayley the dignity of showing that she made her tap out. She's going to pass out, and Bayley wins. And there you have it, a full-fledged Sasha Banks versus Bayley feud. 1 year in the making. God, I think that would be incredible. So there you have it, a Brock Lesnar face turn and a match at WrestleMania 37 between Sasha Banks and Bayley. If I can't say so myself, I think I booked two pretty good angles, two good programs. However, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Please let me know. Do you like my Brock Lesnar face turn? Do you like my Sasha Banks versus Bayley match? And how we get to that? Please let me know down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I always thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go to patreon.com/adtrip to become a Patreon. Once I hit a level, you can be able to affect what you see on this channel, affect what you see on my Twitch channel, and affect what you hear on my podcast. As always, this means more now than ever. Be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.